Castrol South African TT as well. Here's the Toy boys. No, it's not. It's the bankers.
Those are the bankers. That's Peter Wharton-Hood and
Marius Waite.
Yeah, Marius Waite.
It's nice to see them out. They should be in these big cars all the time. They handle them very well, Peter.
Yes, but also keeps them very honest because they do not handle the same way as the Porsches do. And you'll see later on in the event they actually battle with the car. But
and there we've got Howard Nell in the Marcus. That's got a wooden chassis. It's got a straight 6 motor in that one too. Also very effective. Gets lots of good results.
Alan Eustace just ahead of him there, so he's hanging on. And then look at this, a big battle happening a little bit further back. Get to see the D-Type still involved there.
Keith Van Heerden, he's just behind Henny Kruneval. That's another Chevron built down the Val. Here we come. We've got problems here with Frank Lincoln's car. He shares it with his son. That's Willie Hepburn's son, actually. Just having a look at what's wrong under the bonnet.
Francis Carruthers also with a problem there in the GT40, and here comes the number 8 car. That's Wharton-Hood and Waite. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that Shelby, but I'm sure they're going to pounce on it to find out if there are any hassles.
TVR going well. Here comes Henny Kruneval on the inside. They've put more power to the BMW engine tacked onto the back of this car, so it's become more effective. He's very quick around the corner.
He's very quick in any car, right?
He is.
Henny Kruneval can definitely pedal around Zwartkops, and even on the test days when they come out here just to get some track time, he's definitely one of the fastest guys, and to get past him is not easy. And if he comes up your inside like he's doing here, you've got no answer.
Hansfeld thinks, where did he come from? I've never heard of the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He comes from Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah, he comes from the Netherlands, but Kruneval's certainly showing what he can do. What a mixture of motor cars. There's the Michael Compagnie. Look at that for a big muscle car. The Grand Sport Corvette. Boy, did that put General Motors on the map as well. 35 is a P4 Ferrari, also looking very, very good indeed.
It's Fatty Van Niekerk in that car at the moment. I think it might be Junior driving the car. He and Dad were sharing. No, it's actually the old man at the moment. You can see the open face helmet. So it's definitely Fatty in the car.
Yeah,
D-Type being eaten up by the big Chevy Corvette there. Oh, look at that understeer. Man, Compagnie getting it completely wrong there.
I thought he's going to spin it right around. Things are starting to happen in the pits. Tony Martin, the leader, is in the pits. He's got problems. He's pitted early there. They're trying to sort things out.
He's getting the fuel into the car. If he can get in early and get out early, it's going to... Whoa, there's problems on turn 3. Someone's dropped some oil. Well held to Toy. She's had some good driving to keep that Shelby under the wraps and back onto the tarmac.
Serious oil down the road. There goes Tony, and he's losing it too. Oil on that corner. He's just in behind the bankers there. Marius Waite, and we've got Franco de Matteis lost it into the wall with Derek van Vleck's car. He squeezed it into the wall, and that'll be out of the race too, but definitely oil there. They'll bring out, there's the oil flag in the distance right-hand corner, and the safety car definitely come out. They'll have to put cement down to get some grip back into this car. Happens in racing. Cars drop their oil. As one of the Cobras just dropped their oil supply. There it is, the Michael Cotton car, yeah. So he's caused a lot. There's the Nomad just in behind the Focus, the safety car. Here it is.
Rog, you know what the problem's going to be? Tony Martin is so far back now because of him coming in just before the safety car. It may cost him. What's happened here to the big Corvette?
Oh, he's got problems.
Halfway in and some problems on the Corvette.
Yeah, I was missing second gear and I tried to drive in third and fourth gear, first gear, and I did it a few laps, and then the other gears are also were gone, so there was no reason to continue anymore. So we need to change it now, and hopefully next weekend if we have another gearbox with us, then it will be all right again.
And Ross Lazarus, he's just been hanging thereabouts from the Centurion Lazarus racing team. He's back in the pits, and Ross has been doing very well. He does well in 9-hour and 3-hour races. He gets the results.
Traffic jam in pit lane at the moment. Everybody coming in to do their refueling, and the refuel strategy here is very, very crucial. Green flag waving. The Nomad is going to start the race in the front of the field, but it's going to be a matter of time before that Cobra gets past. In fact, it's about 400 meters and he's passed.
And they'll want to test the circuit first before they check it. You can go over the cement, we all know that, but when you're driving this sort of motor car and you arrive there, you just want to be sure it's not going to spin you out.
There you can see the Nomad's dropped down to third place now. Dutoy, well, not Dutoy, the Wharton-Hood car is actually leading the race. And then we've got Tony Martin, the backdraft Cobra. They come through that turn. They're keeping it very, very tight. No one's going to drift wide through there for a long, long time until they're actually confident that they can get through turn 3 quite okay.
And because of the time it took to actually clear the road and put the cement down, they've increased the length of this Castrol Edge South African TT to 50 minutes, and that could also change the shape of things.
Certainly could. Hopefully the fuel strategies have all been taken into account as they came into pit lane. The one man who couldn't go in because he'd already refueled was the man who's now taking the lead, Tony Martin. And you can see that Ross Lazarus means business. He wants to get up there and possibly get in front as quickly as possible.
And there's others just hanging about there, just waiting for other things to happen as the race goes on. Drivers get tired. Cars get tired. As you see, oil went down the circuit. Nice view coming away from the Zwartkops Owners Club. The clubhouse at the top there. Good viewing up that circuit at the top of the track. It's 31, the Nomad going very well. 22, Alan Manshaw right on his tail, and boy, does he fly past.
He certainly does. The Chevron has a big difference in terms of power output, and I think here comes Dutoy. I think that's Jono Dutoy who's in the car now. He's stepped out, Mark Dutoy. He had the first part. Fortunately, I think Mark was in the car when it spun out, and he hung on for dear life.
Didn't he?
It's now Nick Clark hanging on as well. No, in fact, Chris Clark into that GT40.
It'll be Daddy in there with...
Chris has just unlapped himself from the Daytona. The Daytona is actually in the lead, but Jonathan's battling. The rear wheel bearings collapsed on that car, so he's frightened the wheel's going to come off. He'll back right off now.
So he's just taking it easy.
He's trying to keep up with him, but I mean, that the wheel was going, so he's...
Dangerous stuff. That's had a dramatic race. He's spun on the oil. Wheels are starting to come in his wheel bearing. Right, on we go. Hostilities have been resumed. Big time. There's just cars all over the circuit. The Chris Clark car is going very well. Number 9 is in fact Colin Frost car, and he's gone well. He's also got a variety of motor cars, but he loves driving that GT40.
It looks like Jono's got that car sorted out now. In fact, no, he hasn't. You can see it slipping and sliding. Pete, definitely some problems there, hey?
We pulled it all back, yeah.
Few laps to go. Here they are, first and second. It's Mark, Jonathan Dutoy, in fact, sharing with his brother Mark. And the Clark car, he's just acquired the car. He's only done one race in it. Is in second spot and looking very good for a win with just a few minutes of this race to go.
I think Chris Clark realizes there's a problem on that Daytona, and if he can just keep it all together, Jono's going to slow down and let him through, I'm sure, at some stage. But right now, it's all up for grabs still. 5 minutes to go and probably about 3 or 4 laps all together, and everything's still to play for.
The Wharton Hood Marius Waite Cobra comes up. Oh, he nearly going in there to Alan Bailey's Lotus. Oopsie. And Alan Manshaw doesn't hang about. He just takes 2 cars on his way through. That's a bit of opportunist driving there on Manshaw's part. He's doing very well at the moment. He's lying at the moment in 5th spot. So it's been a very good race for him. Here he comes down the road now in that effective B8. They've also got B16s that look lovely. I think they're probably the best looking Chevrons around. There's Alan Bailey. He's been out year after year, helps organise these cars from overseas. And Alan really has single seat. He has this car and is most effective.
Certainly is, and a great man to actually have a chat with. He's got lots of experience and lots of stories to tell. But look at this, change at the front. It looks like Chris Clark's got ahead, yes. The Dutoys are in second. I think Jono's just backed it off, as you said, Peter, and he's now going to just wait for that checkered flag. Hopefully, no one else will get ahead of him, and he'll be able to still stay on the podium.
We're on the last lap now. Henny Kroenewold's in 6th spot. There comes the Chris Clark, the leader. It's Chris sharing with his son Nick. It's going to be a great winner. Castrol Edge South African TT is a wonderful feather to have in your cap, and the car's sounding lovely. They spend a lot of time working the car, and he really just goes about and says another car, we're just going to race, you know.
Here's our 3rd place man, Ross Lazarus, in the Lazarus GT40, the P4 parked on the inside of the circuit, so a little bit of concern there, I would say. There's no flag waving, but I'm sure that they've got that all under control, and the cars have seen them, and now coming to the closing stages. Still a battle on here.
Ross Lazarus has come on in leaps and bounds. It's Colin Lazarus's team. Peter Lindbergh's races for it as well. And here he comes to the flag. It's going to be the Chris and Nick Clark GT40 taking it ahead of a car, battling a bit there with wheel bearings. And that's Jonathan Dutoy in the Daytona Coupe sharing it with his brother Mark.
Great 50 minutes of racing there, and the Castrol Edge Legends of the 9 Hour, and of course a whole bunch of other cars thrown in for good measure in this TT. And as they come across the line, the checkered flag waves. Clark's take the victory. The Dutoys, a family affair at the top. Ross Lazarus eventually in 3rd. Tony Martin, unfortunately, down in 4th place. He'd like to be a little bit higher up. And Manshaw in 5th.
Father and son in the house, that's for sure.
Yeah, a bit of fun, you know. That's why we put out Nicholas first so that he could break the other cars, and then the old man goes in and cleans up.
That's what it's all about, I suppose. Nick, it was a bit hairy out there when the oil spilt, eh?
Oh yeah, cloud of smoke, couldn't see anything, scariest moment of my life. But we managed to slow down enough, not spin out like the rest of the cars, and pulled through.
So things looking good so far for this team, eh?
Well, all right, we just got there. We're getting used to the car now.
Index of performance, it's Dutoy ahead of Delay, then Ross Lazarus, Henny Kroenewold, Harnenfeld, and Chris and Nick Clark in 6th.
Bit of a family affair. You guys came through second. Clark's taking the victory.
Yeah, I mean, we planned to have a late pit stop. We wanted to try catch yellow, and we agreed to come in at the 30-minute mark, and it hit 30 minutes on my watch, and I thought I'd give him another minute, and then I saw a Cobra blow up down the back straight, and I saw a lot of people spinning. I thought, no, there'll be a safety car. Let's just wait for it. And when we saw the safety car boards, he came in, and we really got the pit strategy right.
I think it worked perfectly for you guys, and as always, these cars seem to just run on rails.
Yeah, no, it wasn't all plain sailing. We had our problems. The car wasn't pulling cleanly, and we've got a bit of a loose wheel now at the rear, which means we couldn't push towards the end of the race. But very happy to finish second. I mean, that's fantastic.
Now for the second race for the Etana Pre-66 Legends of the Nine Hour. This is the heavy metal back on Zwartkops. Here's the start. Mark de Toy round the outside of Sol van Omeva with Paolo Cavalieri holding station in third spot.
It must be the fact that he's got a number 27 on his car that he's going so fast. Sol van Omeva around the outside. Look at that. A nice start there. Once again from Falconer. He's on the inside, and it's going to be Battle Royal resuming here at the Arena of Motorsport.
You hear the speed that Sorrel changes gears. That engine just idles on. It's got so much torque, and he's hanging on. But that Chevy's got legs. There they go. The cement drop during the TT. Sorrel second, then Paolo Cavalieri. Then we've got Alan Poulter. Great job by him. Falconer's in fourth or fifth spot, and then we've got, who's that behind him? We've got Brian Rawlings Jr., as we say, comes over from Dubai. And Frank Copping, that little Renault, is hanging in there with those big V8s.
Can you believe a Renault Dauphine is all over the back end of two Fiat Mustangs? It's an amazing sight to see. Here we go. Come on, Schechter. What are you doing down there, bud? Get that car going.
Number 141 in the inside. No, that's
Mr. Z. I wonder who's in that car, Rog.
We're not allowed to tell that because maybe we don't know, and he's going to lose it.
And maybe because he's actually going to lose it, we shouldn't say who's actually in that car.
No, he's letting the stick down. Chevelle comes through third. Poulter's in fourth. He's lost a spot there to the Chevelle of Paolo Cavalieri, the Etana car. Then it's Thomas Faulkner, I must say, impresses me. There's no doubt he can drive those big cars. Frank Copping's next. Then it's Peter Grove in the Jag, that Mark II Jag. Beautiful looking motor car. Here's a Mark de Toy, Sol van Omeva, Paolo Cavalieri, the Volvo's Alan Poulter. Nicely turned out car. That's the one that all fear. It can stay with V8 on most circuits.
It's got such a great turn of pace around this circuit, particularly as well. Roger's been one of the top competitors in all the historic and classic racing that Peter de Toy puts on. And Pete, once again, a massive field of cars here in this Pre-66 field.
Well, that was the characteristic of that period. You know, I think as people raced anything that had four wheels, it was a saloon car. And you can see that today. I mean, the Alphas, the Austin 835s, the Fiat Abarth, the Cortinas, the Anglias, they're all there.
You know, it shatters me, Peter, that little A35, which I know you love, is handled so well. You wouldn't think it did.
No, well, they're very special. The suspension was brought in from England, from the car that actually won at Goodwood a couple of years ago. Beat the Jags. That's a very specially set up motor car.
Look at the camber angle on that Plymouth Fury being driven by Henry Kronewald. 8 is Andy Tolo. There's a man from the park. Always raced minis. He's into Renault as well. And Henry Kronewald is battling with that big Fury. That also comes from down the Vault. Carl Pino's set up down there. And SP Racing. And he's staying with that. Beetle on the inside there, by the way, is Martin Radl, which stays with most cars on the circuit.
He certainly does. And going back to picking up on Andy Turlo, him and his brother Graham have actually stepped out of the motor industry. They're in the bicycle industry now, bringing in mountain bikes from overseas. So a big change around there. They had Auto Extra as their Renault dealership, then they had it as a bike dealership, and now still racing in the minis that they love so dearly.
Now he's got time to race the minis. He didn't have time when he had the Auto dealership, so we're really pleased to have him back.
He must be
the car's beautifully prepared.
He must be the youngest looking 80-year-old around.
Oh, not too bad.
No,
but his boot's pretty good. Graham should be in one of the cars as well, though. I think Graham and Andy should be having some fun out there, and not only just Graham, so it's all good.
Andy's not 80, by the way. He's a very fit guy, I've got to say. Frank Copping's little car. There it is. Look, I mean, that's ridiculous. But the cars are slowing down. There must be a safety car. You can't live with these sort of motor cars with a little Dauphine. And under that bonnet, it's just pipes, and he's got that car so sorted out.
NEG coming through the field nicely there as well, Rog. He's just moved up ahead of the Jag, so Grove had no answer. It's now the Dauphine who's under attack. And if you look in the rearview mirror and you see these big wings sticking out the back, you must be thinking to yourself, where did he come from?
And those cars didn't have the greatest brakes. Cavalieri's going pitward.
It's a selection problem, but they fixed it. He went out a little bit later.
Oh, that's a pity for him. But he's really given a good account of himself first time out, Peter.
Yeah, it's also been a big wake-up call. There's no such thing as suspension setups on these cars. That's where they were. And that's
like he gets on his Ferrari. I mean, it's just nothing like that. But they're enjoying it. Ian Schechter was enjoying it. I was talking to him afterwards, and he was saying he thoroughly enjoyed driving these motor cars.
Must be a big field. Abarth about to be overtaken here. You can see de Toy going around the outside. He's left Sorrel van Omeva, although van Omeva should be still finishing up in second place if he can keep it all together. You can see that there is a battle royal on their hands here.
They replaced the gearbox of that Galaxy again between the brake, but there still seemed to be a problem with that clutch. That clutch is slipping.
No, it's got just too much power. 7-litre motor, Peter.
Well,
I
more
think
than
Saul's
that.
just a bit heavy on the car.
It's almost 7.5.
I love that. I love the South African term. It's a bit more than 7 litres, 7.5 maybe. It's probably about a 9-litre motor. They never tell you. Stuart Gregg's ahead there, Sorrel, taking it easy. Come Jerry Spahns. That's an absolutely immaculate little Fiat. I've got to say, it is in beautiful condition. There's not a drop of dust on it, and he looks after it like a museum piece.
He's building another one too, he tells me, so.
Right, it's Mark du Toit. He's going to win this one. There's no doubt about it. Nobody's in the league as he gets the flag. Here he goes, another win for Mark du Toit. He's had a great run of success in this Chevy, a real bootlegger Chev, if ever there was one.
Yeah, certainly, no doubt. Sorrel van der Merwe in second place. Falconer in third. Nice drive from Alan Poulter and Brian Rowlings to finish up the top 5.
Good day's racing's better than a bad day's work, huh?
Yeah, awesome. We had a fantastic day today, and I think I got overall win in the Chev. It was lovely to race against Sorrel. I think he had a bit of a problem there in the second race, but I just really enjoyed the day.
A couple of new guys coming to play there too. You had Paolo Cavalieri in there for a while, and the Cheval, that seemed to go pretty well, but the two of you had a nice dice in the first one.
Yeah.
Second heat just went like a dream.
Now, the first race was hectic. I mean, we were swapping paint in some of the corners, and I was thinking, flip, am I in a Formula Ford race or am I in a historic race? But lovely, I enjoyed the day.
You certainly had a very successful day indeed. Right, last race on our program for the Execuline Pre-72 Trans Ams. This is Ben and Willie at war. It's going to be over 8 laps. Morganroot gets the jump on Willie Hepburn, but that means nothing at this stage.
Seconds out, round number 2. Morganroot ahead of Willie Hepburn. Then it's the, oh, look at that, Pinard up there too. So Pinard got the Cougar all sorted out. He's going to be back in contention. Duval goes through there. Good to see him back in an Alpha. This is what we want to see. Who's going to take it, Jack? Hepburn or Morganroot?
They are going for it along that back straight. The circuit hasn't got oil on it. Here they come. Willie goes on the inside. Ben round the outside. They tag each other. Willie just tags Willie. I think that was a racing incident. There was nowhere else for him to go. So they're both stuck at the side of the road. The big job happens again. They've got all those cars to pass. Here we're on board with Ian Schechter making the most of it. He's in a Chef Camaro this time, more suited to him, and he's flying along.
Yeah, he's loving life. He's right on the tailpiece there of the Cougar of Pinard. He goes a little bit wide out of turn 5, and he's got problems on the inside, that's for sure. Eugene Gous in the little Chev is all over the back of him.
Now that's the car that suits Eugene Gous. He was a sponsor of the series in the past there. Here we come down the road. Colin Ellison's in the front. Richard Pinard in that Mercury Cougar. Is that a big American car or what with mega horsepower?
I just want to know why Pete didn't put some lights on top, because I think most of the police cars in the Deep South run Mercury Cougars as their standard highway patrol vehicles.
That car's built on the basis of Dan Gurney. Dan Gurney, the Formula 1 driver, built a team of Cougars up and raced them in Trans Am.
Schechter's third. Eugene Gous trying to go around the outside. Schechter's going well in the Camaro, I've got to say. He's getting experience. He wants to get back into the racing. I think he misses it badly, as Sorrel does, in fact. And look at the power of the Cougar. But Ellison didn't know where that came from. He tried to go around the outside. He tried to close the door. No ways. Richard Pinard's in the front. Colin Ellison, the Alpha. Then we've got Ian Schechter. Then we've got 55, Eugene Gous. Where are Willie and where is Ben?
I think they're coming, and they're coming very, very quickly. It's a matter of probably about 2 laps, and we're going to see them up there with Ellison and this Cougar. There we see evasive action being taken by Schechter. He hangs on, but only just. Gous nearly snuck it up the inside there.
No, he's very good in that car. Is Eugene Gous behind them. Got Anton Raths in that R100 Coupe Mazda. Very effective, a drag racer of note, and he's brought it to the track, and he's showing what drag racing can do and the power they get out of these cars. And of course, there's a big following for Mazda engines.
There's Willie. There's Ben. Oh, yeah, they come. Woohoo! This is going to be interesting stuff. Watch out, Divov. Alex, get out the way, bud. I wouldn't even be on the same track with these two coming through this quickly.
When you see them coming, it puts fear in your heart as they come down the road, and they mean business. First of all, Ben means business to get past Willie, and Willie means to get to the front.
Onto the braking markers a little bit further back in the field. You can see that is Henny Grunewald as well in the Mark II Escort. And he's loving life in that one because that's also been built by Carl Pienaar. So he's had a busy day in the saddle.
Carl Voss, number 1, the Northern Region's historic car racing champion this year. He's got Martini just behind him into the final stages. Here's Willie, gone to second, and there is Ben, gone to third with Ian Schechter. There's some names for you in South African motor racing. They haven't lost the message. They put on a magnificent show for all the big crowd that has come out. There's a huge record crowd come to Zwartkops, And just behind Eugene Coast is picking up tips from these icons.
Here's a little question for you, Peter. Did you tell Ben and Willie to crash in turn 4 on the first lap?
Well, I'm the choreographer, so I'll take credit for it.
I think you did, eh?
Willie's gone to the front. Here he comes. The Cougar is there. There's Ellison. There is... no, Willie's third now. Willie's third and Ben is fourth. Here's problem. Schechter's fifth. So the order's changing all the time. Schechter's loving this car. And that Camaro really looks good. It's a real big American car. That handles well, I've got to say, too. Nice looker. Right, and on their tail, Eugene Coast is not letting them get away. This is one of his finest drives in that Can-Am.
A little sideways there from Schechter, but he managed to hang on. Let's see whether or not Ben and Willie can get ahead of Pinard. Pinard's now got them both in his rearview mirror. They come down to Goldwagen corner past Colin Green. And watch out, Colin, get that 3-2-3 into the trees, but don't even come close to these guys. You don't want to be involved here.
Yeah.
Oh, Pinard spun! Pinard has spun out. Can you handle it? He spun out at Goldwagen, and that's cost him dearly. Willie and Ben...
Cost him the race.
Yeah, it was going to be his finest win he'd ever had. I must say, Richard Pinard has really come to the party. Great driving by him in that Mercury Cougar. Nice, he used to drive in the Timken team in West Bank V8. But he's certainly shown that he can drive a motor car. It's going to be Willie unless Ben can find another way through. The traffic could make a difference before the end. We're on the last lap now. There's a lot of traffic, but these guys get past them so quickly. There you go, 2-in-1 sweep, and Ben is following up the hill up to the Zwartkops owners' clubhouse.
Onto the braking markers into Sassel corner. That's turn 5. Now it's a double right-hander. Then the second of the left-handers on the Arena Motorsport circuit. As they come out of there, Willie is just playing the blocking role. He's not going to let Ben through. No way is Ben Morgenroot winning this race if Willie's in the front.
There's going to be lots of races ahead of these two. They really put on a great show. Believe me, this is the real thing. They're not putting on a show here. They mean to beat each other. Right, the flag's waiting. Henry de Beer's got the flag. Willie takes the lead. And the win ahead of Ben Morgenroot. Colin Ellison, a very good third. Ian Schechter, fourth, he'll be happy with that. Eugene Coast, and then it was Anton Rath in the Mazda 6.
As always, great to see the two legends at each other's throats from the word go.
Yep, it was good fun. We had a little moment at the bottom there, but as Ben says, part of racing.
It is always part of racing, Ben, but the two of you have been at it for such a long time that you basically know each other's every move. And when you decided to have a little spin, Willie joined you.
No. Willie touched me, and that's why we both spun. He went up on my inside. I went wide on the straighter. The car turned sideways. And I know Willie wouldn't do it on purpose. I'm sure it was just a racing accident. And then we were both off. We both spun high to go through the kitty litter. You had to collect it on the inside, I suppose.
Back and come
reverse. Half the fuel came through, if not more. And then we had to fight our way through that again. But all said and done, Willie had the superior car. He drove well today. Congratulations, well done. You deserved it, Willie.
An awesome day's racing. Join us next week for part 2 of our coverage of the Execuline Motor Insurance Springbok Series. We'll be catching up with some more action from Zwartkops, the arena of motorsport. International sports prototypes, the SAF Marine single-seaters, and of course our Nashua Mobile saloon cars.